All right, kindergarten, here is the story I was talking about, where you're going to need your sticky notes with all your character feelings that you can think the characters in this story I'm reading you are going to share. So get ready. And like I said, you might want to listen to this one 2 times. 1, because it's a fabulous story, and 2, because you might want to just listen the first time through to know about the story, and then the second time through, do your sticky notes with your characters. So here we go with Not Norman, a goldfish story, written by Kelly Bennett, illustrated by Noah Jones. All right. I bet we'll have a story about a fish, won't we? Not Norman, a goldfish story. Oh, when I got Norman, I didn't want to keep him. I wanted a different kind of pet. Not Norman. Look at that character face. I wanted a pet who could run and catch, or one who could climb trees and chase strings. A soft, furry pet to sleep on my bed at night. Not Norman. All Norman does is swim around and 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 around. This is it, Norman. I decide I'm trading you in for a good pet. Norman doesn't move, not even a fin twitch. How can I trade him in when he looks like this? No one will want a sorry-looking fish in a gunky fishbowl. When I drop Norman into his nice, clean bowl, he starts dipping and flipping and flapping his fins all around. He looks goofy, and I have to laugh. Don't think that just because you made me laugh, that I'm going to keep you, I tell him. Tomorrow, you're out of here. Norman blows a stream of bubbles. The next day, I take Norman to school with me. If I talk him up really, really good at show and tell, maybe some of the other kids will want to keep him. On our way there, we see my friend Austin. Austin has a really cool dog and 7 puppies. Want to swap one of your pups for Norman? I ask. Who is Norman? Asks Austin. My goldfish, I say. By the time I rescue Norman, half his water is gone. Look what those puppies did. No one's paying attention to Norman. I'm sorry, I tell Norman when we get to school. I'm really sorry. He just stares at me, all googly-eyed. Finally, it's my turn for show and tell. Now think about how he might be feeling like, all right, I can do this. I'm going to get rid of this fish. Just as I start to talk about goldfish, Emily shouts, Jenny's gone! Who let my snake loose? There he is, up there talking about Norman. Do you think anybody's listening anymore? Does anyone hear the story of how I got Norman? Does anyone even ask to hold his bowl? No. They all are jumping and screaming and chasing the snake. But not Norman. He is looking right at me. Thanks for listening, I tell him. Lots of different things this character is feeling, aren't there? Like, I don't want you. And, hey, thanks for listening. That afternoon, we go to music lessons. As soon as it's over, I'm taking Norman back to the pet store, I tell him. I take out my tuba and I begin to play. Boom, 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 ba, boom, boom. I glance over at Norman and he is swaying back and forth. Glue, glue, glug, glug, glue, glue, glug, glug. Look, Norman's singing, I say. Pay attention, says the maestro, and try to play the proper notes. And the maestro is the conductor of the orchestra where he's at practice. Maestro makes me stay for extra practice. By the time my lesson is over, it's too late to go to the pet store. Don't think that just because you like my music that I'm going to keep you, I tell Norman. He gulps. That night, I'm sound asleep when screech, screech. What's that noise? I bet we really could think of some characters for this, feelings for this. Screech, screech, screech! Yikes! There's something out my window. Then out of the corner of my eye, I spot Norman! He isn't scared. He isn't swimming around in circles either. He glugs and gives me a little wave. I'm not alone. Together, Norman and I slide open the curtains. It was just a broken tree branch. Thanks for watching out for me, Norman. Do you think he's starting to feel a little differently about Norman? On Saturday, I take Norman to the pet store, just like I said I would. I look at the cats and dogs and snakes and birds. I look at the hamsters and mice and lizards too. They all look like good pets, but they are not Norman. When I got Norman, I wasn't sure I wanted to keep him. But now, even if I could pick any pet in the whole world, I wouldn't trade him. Not Norman. And then it says, Norman, one amazing fish. So, I know you'll be able to have lots of character feeling sticky notes about this book. I hope you enjoyed it and have fun doing that job. Bye, everyone.